Where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I start?
So hello Unlimited. Today we are back with Conversations Unlimited. And you know that one of my beliefs is that extraordinary things can happen by doing ordinary things consistently every day. And today I'm joined by Sophia Crawshaw from One Good Turn.
It's gone from a few items to, I think we're satisfied in the last 18 months about 4,000 referrals, be it beds, furniture, white goods. The clothes are insurmountable, the amount of books, toys, clothes we give away, it's thousands of items every week. We have about 65 volunteers now that are all over Kirklees, and they're initially a lot of the people that we've helped that have wanted to give back and have kind of playing a bigger part within the charity now. So we're very much about helping people on a practical level, but we're also about helping people emotionally and with their well-being.
One Good Turn. Tell me, Sophia, what's One Good Turn about?
One Good Turn is now a registered charity. Our message, if you like, our objective is to help people suffering in poverty and isolation on a practical level by providing free items, everyday items that people no longer need or want, and passing them for free. So this can be anything from a pair of shoes to a fridge freezer, a washing machine, a bed. But we also focus on people's well-being, trying to help people come out of depression or anybody that's going through a bad time by providing emotional support. But the beauty is it's done by real people that have probably experienced similar situations that are helping real people in that situation now.
I love the mission behind what you do, and I'm really curious about how did you start out? Because I'm guessing you didn't start out as a registered charity. What was the beginning? What was the first seed that started that?
It was accidental, really. It kind of took its own legs. It started off, the little story is when I wanted a denim jacket for my daughter, because she's a bit of a metalhead rocker, and I wanted a denim jacket to cut the sleeves and patch up, to turn into what they call a battle jacket. And I went looking around the charity shops, and I was a little bit horrified how expensive not only the jackets were, but everything. And I just thought, they're getting these items for free, and they're charging an absolute fortune. I appreciate they've got overheads and things, but it occurred to me that people that are on welfare, how do they even afford to now go to a charity shop? Because they're even being outpriced there. So what I did is I went to my Facebook page and I just asked any of my friends if they had a jacket they no longer wanted, and I got offered about 6. So I chose the one that we liked the best, and then I just opened a little group, added my friends who I thought might be interested, and put the jacket up and just said, if you want it, put your name down. I've got 5. I'll pull names out of a bag. But as it happened, I had a shed full of items I no longer needed because I used to do a little bit of car booting, mainly toys really, just to make a little bit of pin money. So I listed everything that I had, lots of clothes I didn't want, and when I went back in a few days, there was about 300 people in the group. Other people had jumped on it and they were listing items that they didn't want. So it was a bit like eBay. You take a photograph of your item, put on would anybody like this, and then people put the name underneath and you just draw a name out. So it snowballed from that to about 300 to 400 people, all putting the names down for items. People were bringing the items to my home, and I had the responsibility of bagging and tagging them, picking the winner, putting the item in the bag, putting a name on it. But after about 3 months, it kind of got to the point where the door was going every 5 minutes. My neighbour was concerned I'd started drug dealing. She said, what are you doing? All these strangers coming to your house. And because I got 2 young children, I thought, well, this isn't really good. It's a bit of a safeguarding issue. So I had Wednesday mornings off work, so I said, right, let's meet in the bus station cafe. So we met in the bus station cafe and started handing things out. And then that kind of snowballed so it became a bit more structured, where we'd a lady behind a desk handing the items out. Because I worked in libraries for 23 years, I was a natural signposter. So I was always signposting people to services. If they needed to know where they could get help or where they could get something, I usually always knew. So that kind of naturally evolved, the signposting side of it. And then we moved premises from there across the road to a bigger place, and then we ended up with about 150 people a week coming to the coffee morning. So we had to keep moving venue to accommodate the growth. But in between all that, one of the ladies that was in the group needed a piece of furniture, which I had. So I took this piece of furniture to a house. And as my husband and I were leaving the premises, we noticed that a washer was rusted to the floor. So we got in the car and I just said, what do? We can't buy her a washer because it wouldn't be fair to everybody else. So we decided to have a raffle at the coffee morning. We raised enough money to buy a reconditioned washing machine. And then the week after, somebody said, I need a fridge freezer. Can you help me with a fridge freezer? So hence the referral system was born, which has now become huge. To date, we've done about 8,000 referrals. Last year we helped 10,000 individuals with smaller items. We also do give and take, so we go to 15 different areas within Kirklees and Calderdale, taking a van full of free items. It's a bit like a free bring and buy. People bring what they don't need and take what they need for free. And we also have between 80 and 100 volunteers at any given time. And we've got premises of about 6,000 square foot now, and it's just become a bit of a monster, really.
That, I said at the start of the call that because my passion is what I call extraordinary, is discovering the extraordinary in people. And I also believe that, extraordinary comes from doing ordinary things, and it can explode and create just amazing outcomes. And your story, to me, is exactly that. And there are so many things I'm really interested by. That how long did it take you to get from one denim jacket on Facebook to where you are now, with a huge premises and a massive number of people served by what you're doing? What was that? How long has that taken?
We started in about summer 2011. That's when I opened the group. It was about August 2011. And we're now in 2016, and we've won the Queen's Award. We've got an MBE for the charity. We've just won the Duke of York Community Initiative Award. Yeah, like I said, it's just taking its own legs. I think because there's a genuine need for it, and things aren't getting any better with the climate, I just think it's just going to go from strength to strength. But we face the same challenges that other charities are facing at the moment, which is funding, because there's no grants out there. And because we give everything away, we have kind of no sustainability. So we're currently looking at a business plan to try and get some sustainability to the charity to make sure that we're still here in 12 months' time.
So it's taken you just over 4 years, and I think that you're right. There's need out there, and clearly there's a need for what you have. But there's need for lots of things, and I think the difference is that it's not necessarily the need; it's actually someone who has the passion and the vision to fulfill that need. And I know you said it kind of started accidentally, but even given it started accidentally, for something to grow from an accident to where it is now to 4 years, what's driven you? What's been your passion? What's kept you going through all of this?
Well, my husband and I, we've been together a long time. We've been together since we were 18, and we're 43 now. And we've always helped people. His mum jokes that we always bring the lame ducks home. And I've always been a naturally kind person, as my husband has as well. My father came from a very, very difficult background. His mother committed suicide when he was 7, and his father was an alcoholic. So when his mother died, they all got put into care, but he used to tell me stories about how they used to have to live by candlelight. They had to sleep under coats. He used to have to go work on a farm rather than go to school to try and bring food and money into the family. And it's always sat with me. It's always stayed with me, that feeling of how my dad struggled and how it made him as he was as an adult. And I would hate to think of any families and anybody suffering like that. My husband and I, we lived off £12 a month for about 3 years. And we know how hard it is. And I often thought to myself, if only there was somebody out there that could give me some free clothes, that could give me a free washer. So I think the fact that I've been there and my family's been there and I see other people there, that kind of drives me to want to help them, because for some people we are the end of the road. There is nothing else. There is nowhere they can go. And the thought of them going to places on the high street, don't want to name names, and paying £2,000 for a £300 washing machine and getting themselves further and deeper into debt, that really worries me. So I think that's what drives me, really, the fact that I've got a really good team. I've got some fantastic volunteers. The other project manager, Jenny, is fantastic, who equally comes from a challenging background. And I think because we want to genuinely help people, I think that's what drives us, really. The look of relief on a mother's face when you're dropping off a bed for a child, How can you put that into words, really?
And on that journey, over the past 4 years, what's been the biggest single challenge you faced?
I think the challenge we're facing really is people understanding that we're not doing it for our own gain. You know, the people say, what's the catch? Well, there is no catch. We're simply here to help. And I think because we're not regarded as a sexy charity, because people don't see that we're not cancer, we're not maybe heart, they don't see that we're directly children because we don't market ourselves at children. It's been difficult getting people to understand that actually we are all of that. We are about health. We are about families. I mean, we give a child a bed to sleep in. We give a child's parent a cooker to cook their tea on. And I think trying to get other charities and the general public and businesses and manufacturers to understand that actually what we do is important and it is needed and it should be respected as much as other charities are. That's the biggest challenge we face, I think, is people understanding what we do and that there is no catch to what we do and that it is needed.
And I hear that about the charity. What about you personally?
Me personally?
I mean, I have a sense that you've put a huge amount into it to get to where you are. What's been your biggest personal challenge in this?
Time. Because at the time my son was only about 12 and my daughter will have been about 7 or 8. It's been a time challenge, trying to juggle a family, and obviously I was working at the same time, trying to get an income as well as doing the charity work. I also suffer with fibromyalgia and ME, so obviously energy levels were challenged. Trying to say no, I think, trying to make sure I deal with my time properly, if you like. That's always a challenge. And to try and make sure that I get enough rest.
Yeah, I love what you say there about saying no. I remember reading that the thing that differentiates people who are just do well and people who are successful is people who are successful are getting better and better at saying no.
Mm.
What does saying no mean to you?
I don't like saying no. I'm not a naturally no kind of person. If I can try and help someone, I will. Somebody said to me, was quite successful. He said, "You've grown the charity and you developed the charity from your heart. You now need to start to keep it here, developing it from your head." And I'm currently struggling with that. I think also handing over responsibility has been a challenge. There is a thing called founder syndrome, which somebody pointed out to me, and I looked up, and I did tick a lot of the boxes. So I'm trying very hard to try and pull myself away from that and kind of hand it over to other people and trust that other people will develop it and will care about it as much as I do. So I think letting go is a big factor. Letting other people take some responsibility for it.
And when you talk about other people, you said you've built a team of 150 volunteers. How did you do that? How did you get 150 people lined up behind your vision to make this happen?
Well, the 150 people is the service users that come to the coffee mornings. We've actually got a team of between 800 and 100 volunteers. A lot of the people that volunteer are people that we've helped, so they're ex-service users, if you like, or continual service users that have seen something in the charity and they want to give back. Because they can't give back financially, they want to give back emotionally. And with the time, and to me, there's nothing more precious than time. So for people to give the time, really, is incredible. I've got 2 volunteers, for example, that do almost full-time together, who have had a lot of challenges, and they're just amazing. The fact that they give up so much of their time.
And, one of the things that I've personally been very lucky. I haven't experienced this personally, but I do know that there's a cycle here that sometimes when people they get into a situation where they haven't got resources, they haven't got cash coming in, and you kind of mentioned it, that they go to someone who lends them money at ridiculous interest rates, and of course they never ever catch up. They can never ever get out of that cycle. I'm guessing that's what you're looking to break here. You're looking to break that cycle by helping people.
We like to say we take people on a journey. We
Yeah.
have a little diagram on as well called the Wungu Turn Intervention Journey. So we might have somebody come to us that needs clothing or furniture, and then they'll attend a coffee morning or give and take. So while they're there, we'll offer goods, advice, services, and then hopefully the person will start volunteering with us and then while they're volunteering, they'll gain some work experience. We'll put them on courses. We've had several volunteers do NVQs. Two of them have done an NVQ level 3 management. And then we'll hope, by doing that, we can help them to get into some employment, which will hopefully break the chain of the debt crisis. And that's what we try to do, but we try to do it in a non-invasive way, where we're not pressurising them like the job centre pressurising them, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, where it becomes like a natural journey for the person.
And so, again, an ordinary, simple thing might create an extraordinary outcome.
Yes.
And
we've had quite a few get employment. We've had some success stories with it.
Well, I was going to say, is there a success story you can share that, respecting confidentiality, of course, but is there a story that really sticks in your mind about the work that you've done?
We had one volunteer that came to us who had a bit of a shady background. Obviously, I can't mention his name. Who had been in trouble with the police for drug dealing. He suffered with a condition which he'd had for a very long time, which meant he wasn't able to work. He actually had some surgery on this condition, which alleviated it, so he was able to get his driving licence. But because of his background, he couldn't get any opportunity, not even volunteering opportunities. So we like to give people a chance. We very much believe in first or even second chances, because your circumstances of your life can depend on who you've hung around with at school, what your background's like, how your parents were. Your experience shouldn't define who you're going to become. So we like to give people a chance, and with this gentleman, we gave him a chance volunteering with us. Something else had happened in between, which was, I think it was a speeding fine or something, and he had to go to court, and because of his background, it was taken probably with a bit more severity than it would normally have been. But because he'd been here volunteering, we'd managed to get a photograph of him with the Lord Mayor in his suit, looking all smart and respectable. And I wrote a character reference to the judge, and because of the character reference and the photograph, he just kind of gave him a slap on the wrist. And now this person went on to apply for jobs, and he actually got a job with a pharmacy, full-time driving, delivering pharmacy drugs. So he became from a illegal drug dealer to a legitimate drug dealer.
That's brilliant. Drug dealer's a drug dealer.
Yeah, so that's one of those little stories that we have, which kind of puts a smile on his face, really. But we've had a few people. We've had people even just come to volunteer that couldn't afford to renew the licence. So we've paid £25 for them to renew the licence. They volunteered for a bit. They've managed to get a driving job. It can be something as simple as £25 can make a difference to somebody. But they've come back again as well. When the work's dried up, they've come back, they've volunteered again, and then they've got a job again. So we do have people that return to us as well.
Who is it? Who would you say inspires you? Who do you look to and go, "Wow, they're amazing"?
Oh, that's a big question, isn't it? Gosh, I don't know really. I think Mother Teresa. I mean, I'm not a Catholic, but I think Mother Teresa was pretty fantastic. And I like Maya Angelou. Some of her poetry is very inspiring. I don't know. I think, to be honest with my dad, I'd say. I think my dad's the one that's driven me, really. Because all my dad's siblings kind of went down a different avenue, and my dad was the only one that kind of stayed married to the same lady and raised his family and had a strong work ethic. And, I think the challenge that my dad faced to do what he did, to be able to even have a family and just support his family, was pretty amazing, really. So I think my dad's probably at the back of my mind, to be honest. Because he rose above the challenges, and if my dad had had the opportunities that other people have had, he was so intelligent, he could have done some amazing things with his life, and I think doing what he did was pretty amicable, really. I think it was pretty incredible what he did.
And you've been on a 4.5-year journey, which is incredible, and I've just absolutely loved listening to your story, Sophia. What about the next 4.5 years? In 4.5 years' time, what do you see for One Good Turn?
Well, at the moment, we're trying to be positive. We've got an OGT wish list on our wall. We've got a dream wall, because Jenny and I, the other project manager, we believe in much in The Secret. We watch it when we're feeling a bit down. We watch The Secret to buoy us up again, because funding's a bit dodgy at the moment with most charities. Obviously, the grant funds are running dry. So we're looking at being sustainable. As dream would be to have his own business, we would love a community laundrette, community cafe, to make it some kind of community hub, and maybe a little shop to do a pay-as-you-feel shop maybe for some of the more luxurious items that we have, because some people do want to pay a little bit. They don't want to be a charity case. They want to be able to say I paid for that. So we'd love to have a little pay-as-you-feel shop with furniture. But that's how we see it. I'd love to be able to have one in every town. It would be nice to have put into some kind of franchise and be able to spread it out really, so other communities can have what we've got here. Because all it needs is a good group of volunteers that are passionate and a bit of storage space, and there's no reason why you can't do it.
And if you were to, if someone, the people listening to this are mostly coaches. They're mostly coaches who want to create an impact on other people's lives, and some of them are just starting out, and some of them are doing well. Some of them might be stuck because they're not quite sure how to get to the next step. But one thing I'm pretty sure they have in common is they love helping people. What would be your number one tip? What's the one thing you would say to a coach or to a charity worker who really wants to help other people? What's the one tip that you would give them?
I'd say that people's aspirations can be possibilities. I think got a little thing on the wall actually that says think it, feel it, receive it, and I think that's what it is. I think if people have a dream, there's no reason why they can't have a go. If you don't have a go, you never know, do you? You've got to try these things. I think if you never try, you'll always have regrets. I mean, I left a really good, stable job of 24 years. I gave up a pension to do this because I thought if I don't do it, I'm never going to know, and I'll probably regret it for the rest of my life. So I think sometimes you have to take risks and just get the bull by the horns and have a go.
And if someone wants to help you today, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way for people to contact you to find out what you're doing, to find out how they can help you?
They can go on the website. There's contact details on the website with the phone numbers. They're welcome to give us a ring. Anybody is welcome to come down, have a look at what we do. We always have an open door policy. I think if you come and see what we do, you get a better feel of what we do, and you can kind of feel the enthusiasm when you come here. There's a lovely, lovely feeling. There's always a lot of laughter. The volunteers just love coming here. So yeah, just contact us by email, by phone.
And what's your website? For people listening in, what's your website?
It's www.onegoodturncharity.org.uk.
That is absolutely fantastic. Sophia, I've absolutely loved listening to your story, and I hope that the Unlimited listening in have enjoyed it too. And I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to hearing what happens in the next 4.5 years.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your time, David.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.